All right, so retirement can be a huge change for most of us. And for a lot of us, what it means is doing a lot more of what we really love to do. But you know what? Going out and exploring new things can be even more fun. So let's take a look at a few things you may want to try doing in the future. So the first one is golfing. And golfing can be done by men or women, it doesn't matter. And it's a great way to get your steps in, right? Everybody always talking about exercise and fresh air and just getting out in the sunshine. Golfing is a great way to do that. Of course, depending on where you live, it may be pretty seasonal. I'm pretty lucky here. I can still golf in the winter months. But you know, I got to select my days because of the wind, rain, snow, and all that. But golfing is a great way to get out and do that. Depending on your competitiveness, it can also help your cognitive abilities as well, because you got to figure out your shots and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, if you never have, maybe check out your local golf course. And I know golf is one of those things that it can be very expensive, but normally there's a municipal course somewhere around you that has a yearly membership that may not be too bad. So check those out, see if it's worth your time. All right, number 2 is crafting. And crafting can be a way to just express yourself and, you know, build on your creativity and just have a lot of fun. And it's something that you can do right at home. If you're a homebody, you know, you don't like to leave the house that much, you can do it right at home, or you can join a club that does crafting. And what crafting does is it can really brighten somebody's day and make you feel good about what you've done and what you've created. And it can also be a way to add some extra cash in your pocket. Yeah, you can go to these craft fairs and things like that and sell these things that you've made. So anyway, take a look at crafting. That may be something that might appeal to you. All right, number 3 is hiking and biking. And those are ways, again, to go ahead, get your exercise, get your steps in. And I will warn you though, when you're hiking and biking, you should try to go with a friend, or at least let people know where you are in case you fall and get injured. So that's something you want to be very careful of when you're doing that kind of activity. Okay, so I'd like to pause here for a minute. And this little channel is starting to grow some momentum. So if you would, I haven't been getting very many comments. Could you go ahead and drop a comment down there and just let me know where you are? I think that would be interesting to know where YouTube is going out to get viewers and see where you're from. So, hey, I'd really appreciate that. So let's move on to number 4. And number 4 is fishing. And fishing is something that a lot of us did when we were kids, and if you've ever done much fishing, you know it is very relaxing. It really is. It's a good way to just sit and gather your thoughts and just have a good time, be out in nature, and have a lot of fun. So if you haven't done a lot of fishing and you don't know a lot about it, it's fairly inexpensive to get started. And there are a lot of good fishing channels out there that can kind of get you started. Like I say, fairly inexpensive to get into. And what you can do is check with your local parks and wildlife and see where they stock trout. The trout stocking is normally something they do in ponds that aren't going to freeze over in the wintertime, but it's got to be pretty cool for them to survive. So like here in Texas, they really don't start stocking the trout until November. So it's something you can go out and do. It's a little cool and brisky, but it's okay. And the trout are pretty easy to catch. You just use bait, and I would suggest using what's called power bait. It works really good on those stock trout. So if you've never done it, or if it's been a long time, you know, try going out and going fishing once in a while. It's a good sport. All right, another really good one is to volunteer. And volunteering is always going to make you feel good about yourself and what you're doing for your community. So you can volunteer at the community food banks, you know, the parks, the senior centers, things like that. Hopefully that will put you together with some like-minded people that you can engage with and just have a good time. So try doing some volunteer work. Now, number 6 here, This used to be pretty tough to do because it was expensive to get into, and that's photography. And photography actually, any of these new smartphones that you have nowadays have pretty good cameras on them. And unless you're going to try to enter your photos in contests or print them off and make them, huge wall murals or something like that, if the photos are just for you and your friends and your family, normally what matters the most is composition of the photograph. Yeah, composition. It's not always about the quality of the photo. And with these new smartphones, you've got apps in there where you can change and color grade the photos and do things like that and just really make them look good. But it's the composition of the photo that separates most people who take pictures for fun versus people who really take a picture and people look at it and they say, wow, that's amazing. So you'd be surprised the good photos that you can get with a smartphone. And there's a lot of professionals, that go out to these professional shoots, and a lot of them will take their smartphones with them because if something comes up real quick, you don't have to deal with the settings and all that like you do with a DSLR camera. You can go ahead and just grab your smartphone, click it off, and see what you get. Anyway, there's a lot of good YouTube videos on how to build composition around a photo. So take a look at those YouTubes and grab your smartphone and go out and do some photography. All right, number 7 is woodworking. Now, woodworking is something that can be as simple or as complex as you want to make it. You can take and go to your local Hobby Lobby or hobby shop and get some balsa wood and a wood burning kit and just burn designs in wood. And then, finish them off with some kind of varnish or something and make some really beautiful pieces. Or you can invest in the saws and everything it takes to actually make some kind of furniture. And what's really fun for me when I do woodworking is exploring all the different stains and textures and ways that I can finish the wood off. One of my favorite little pieces that I ever made, I made just out of some pine board, and I just stained it with varnish. And it came out with this yellowish tint that was just gorgeous, and I really, really liked it. So anyway, that's part of it too, is you go ahead and build something and see what you can create in the way you stain it, in the textures, and different things that you can do with it. All right, number 8, I'll bet you thought I forgot about this one, but I didn't, is traveling. Yes, what do most of us really want to do when we retire? We want to travel. And, a lot of people are going to go and they're going to travel to Europe, they're going to travel to the Caribbean, and they're going to go to a lot of exotic places, but travel can be, just somewhere local. You don't have to go a long ways. You can travel to visit your friends and family. There's all sorts of different traveling you can do, and you can just get a lot of enjoyment out of traveling. My wife and I, we love hitting the open road. And we'll drive from here to Texas to Nevada to go see her sister, to Colorado to go see her other sister. And we love to go down to South Texas in the wintertime, which is coming up on some of those trips pretty quick. So hopefully I'll be making some videos from South Texas before too long. So I hope this video has given you some ideas on what you can do in retirement. And if it has, please go down, hit that like button, and watch this video next.